I co-signed on my brother's business loan because he promised it was our dream. 5 years later, he drives a Tesla, lives in a penthouse, and I'm getting wage garnishments. When I called him crying, he said, "You signed the papers. Grow up." The next day, I walked into his office and the look on his face when he saw who was sitting at his desk. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who needed revenge. I used to think that was just for movies or bitter people who couldn't move on. But when someone steals your life, your peace, and your trust, and then laughs in your face about it, that's when revenge stops feeling dramatic. It starts feeling like survival. My name's Paul. I'm 42. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was doing all right. Not great, not poor. Just middle of the road. Assistant manager at a regional grocery chain called Red's Market. Solid benefits, steady hours, enough for a one-bedroom apartment and a used Camry. I liked quiet. I liked routine. Then 5 years ago, my younger brother Nate pitched me an idea. The dream, he called it. Nate was always chasing dreams. He's 4 years younger than me and has this charm that makes people listen to him even when he's full of crap. Growing up, he could talk his way out of anything. My mom used to say Nate could sell water to a fish. She wasn't wrong. He wanted to start a coffee truck business. Said he had a full plan, already scouted locations, already got a logo made. "All I need is a cosigner," he said. "Just someone to help me get the loan. You won't have to do anything after that. It's my business. You're just helping get it off the ground." I hesitated. I really did. But he leaned in with all the family guilt. "Come on, Paul. We've always been in this together. I didn't ask for help when Mom got sick. I handled that. I'm asking now because this is our shot." I had good credit. He didn't. I should have known better. I should have walked away. But he was my brother. We'd slept in the same room for 10 years growing up. Took turns keeping rats out of the cereal boxes. Survived our drunk stepdad. We were all we had. So I signed the papers. $78,000 loan. He sent over documents. I went with him to the bank. I sat there while he signed with this look on his face like he was about to conquer the world. I felt proud. Nervous but proud. For the first year, he kept in touch. Sent me pictures of the truck. Texted me updates. We had a $1,200 day at the square. Got into a festival next month. It felt like things were moving. He told me we couldn't take money out yet because he was reinvesting in supplies, marketing, and repairs. I believed him. That's the stupid part. I believed everything. Then the calls started. The bank called first. Payments late. I told them they had the wrong person. I wasn't the business owner. They said, "You're the cosigner." Then it was collections. Then wage garnishment paperwork from HR, 25% of every check. Gone. I couldn't make rent. I had to sell my car and move in with a friend. I went from eating out twice a week to buying 10 cans of soup for $5. Meanwhile, Nate was living like a tech bro, posting pictures on Instagram with hashtags like #hustle and #selfmade. He had a Tesla. A black Model S, took a vacation in Tulum. Started wearing watches that cost more than my monthly rent. I messaged him. No reply. I called. Voicemail. I finally got him on the phone one night. I was sitting on the floor in my friend Dale's basement. I just paid $22 for groceries and my debit card bounced. I broke down. I told Nate I was drowning. "You promised this was our thing," I said. "I can't live like this." He paused. I thought maybe, just maybe, he was gonna apologize. Then he said it. "You signed the papers. Grow up." And he hung up. I didn't sleep that night. I sat there shaking, staring at the ceiling. That voice in my head that used to say, "He's your brother," got quieter. Another voice got louder. The next day, I called in sick to work. I had a plan. Not a full one, but I knew the first step. I remembered the office building from a video he posted. Fancy place downtown. I Googled it, pulled the address, got in Dale's old truck and drove down. His name was on the wall near the elevators. Bean Empire, LLC, Nathaniel M. Last name, CEO. I walked in like I belonged there. The receptionist asked, "Do you have an appointment?" I didn't answer. I just opened his office door. He wasn't in yet. So I sat at his desk, leaned back, looked around. Nice place. Leather chairs. Big window. Fake plants. An award on the wall for Entrepreneur of the Year from some local business group. I laughed out loud. Then the door opened. He walked in holding a smoothie, wearing some stupid designer shirt that probably cost more than my rent. He stopped cold when he saw me. "What the hell are you doing here?" I didn't answer, just smiled and leaned back. "I'm here to see my investment," I said. Thought it was time we had a talk. And that's when I realized he wasn't afraid of me. He was annoyed. "Paul, you can't just barge in here." "Sit down," I said. He didn't move, so I stood up. "I'm done being your punching bag, Nate. I'm done paying for your life while I scrape by. You screwed me. You lied. And now we're going to fix it." He rolled his eyes. Actually rolled his eyes. "You're still crying about that? Dude, it's just money." I walked around the desk, got right in his face. "No, it's my life, and you're going to give it back." He laughed. "You gonna sue me? Go ahead. You signed everything. It's legal." I smiled. "I'm not here for court. I'm here for the truth. And I've already started digging." I watched the color drain from his face, because the truth was, I had found something that could ruin everything for him. And I hadn't even used it yet. He didn't say anything at first, just stared at me. That fake smirk he always wore started to slip. "What do you mean you've been digging?" he asked. I pulled a manila folder from my bag and dropped it on his desk. It landed with a soft thump, but the sound hit him like a slap. He stared at it like it might explode. "Let me guess," I said. "You never told your investors about the loan default. Never disclosed your personal bankruptcy from 2 years ago either." Funny thing about LLCs, they're supposed to separate personal and business debt. But when you funnel loan money through your personal account, things get murky. His jaw clenched. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I didn't," I said. "But I do now. You made a paper trail so obvious a kid could follow it." I had copies of the bank statements. He'd used our business loan, my cosign loan, not just on the truck, but for personal expenses. Trips, electronics, a $6,000 mattress. I even found a Venmo transfer for $1,800 to some woman labeled moving expenses. I didn't need to ask questions there. He stepped forward, lowering his voice like he was suddenly trying to reason with me. "Okay, so maybe I got a little off track in the beginning. But the business is real. It's making money now. You can't just show up here and act like you own it." "I don't want the business," I said. "I want what you owe me. And I want your investors to know exactly what kind of man they're dealing with." "You wouldn't." I sat back down in his chair, opened the folder, and slid a single printed email toward him. "This is a draft I was going to send to every name I found in your investment docs, including that VC group from Columbus. I figured they'd love to see how you run things. I even attached the original loan agreement with my name on it." He didn't even look at the paper. He was staring at me now like he was seeing me for the first time. "You're serious?" "Oh, I'm very serious." He paced the room, running his hands through his hair. Finally, he stopped and pointed at me. "You think you're so righteous, huh? But you signed the papers. You didn't ask questions. You didn't even check where the money went. You just trusted me. That's on you, Paul." I stood up again. "Yeah, I trusted you. That was my mistake. And now you're going to make it right. Or I go nuclear." He tried to bluff. He tried yelling. At one point, he threw his smoothie at the trash can and missed, splattering green sludge on the wall. None of it worked. Eventually, he sat down, head in his hands. "What do you want?" he asked, voice flat. And I told him. Every word sharp. $78,000. In full. Or I take this folder and walk it into the lobby and hand it to every client and employee you've ever lied to. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. But he knew he didn't have a choice. And that's when I knew I had power. For the first time in years, I had it. And I wasn't done yet. He wired me $20,000 the next morning. It hit my account around 10:15 a.m. I watched it post on my banking app while sitting in my beat-up truck in the Reds Market parking lot, where I was due to clock in. I didn't. I sat there for over an hour, just staring at the screen, not knowing whether to laugh or scream. 20 grand was a start, but it was also a message. It said, "Here, take this and go away." But I wasn't going away. I went back to work that day, bagged groceries, stocked cereal, took out trash. But my head wasn't in it. All I could think about was how many people like me, Nate, had probably stepped on to get where he was. Later that week, I got a message on LinkedIn. Some guy named Raj, CEO of a local startup cafe chain, said he admired what Nate had built and wanted to partner. His name rang a bell. I realized it was someone Nate mentioned back in the early days of the coffee truck. So I messaged Raj back, casually asked what Nate had told him. He replied within minutes, saying Nate was one of the most honest guys he'd met. Said Nate told him he was fully self-funded. That's when the second twist hit me. Nate had completely rewritten the story of his success. Erased me from it. Erased the debt. Told everyone he bootstrapped everything with his own savings and grew organically. No one knew about me, or the loan, or the fact that he used the business's early years to pay for VIP bottle service and leather sneakers. So I made a new plan. Not just get my money back. Expose him. Show everyone the truth, not for revenge anymore, but because people deserve to know what kind of person they were dealing with. I started talking. Quietly. I reached out to his staff, baristas, truck workers, suppliers. I asked innocent questions. And I found cracks. Like how one supplier hadn't been paid in 3 months. Or how his employees signed NDAs but didn't know what they were for. One girl told me Nate offered her cash to not make a fuss after firing her without cause. Another guy said Nate made him sign a backdated time card after working 16 hours straight at a festival. It was worse than I thought. So I did something Nate would never expect. I met with one of his investors, a guy named Charles. Older, quiet, looked like he used to own a car dealership. I found him through a small business networking site. Reached out and said I had some concerns about where Nate's money came from. We met at a diner outside the city. I brought my folder, my printouts, my bank statements, and every text I ever got from Nate about the partnership. Charles barely said 10 words while I spoke. Just nodded slowly, sipped black coffee, and took notes on a yellow legal pad. At the end, he said, "This is a mess, and it's going to get worse for him." 2 days later, Nate called me. No hello, just a hiss. "What the F **** did you do?" I smiled into the phone. "Just gave someone the truth. You should try it sometime." He screamed. Said I ruined everything. Said the investor pulled out. Said now other people were backing off too. Claimed I was jealous of his success, of what he built. "You never built anything," I told him. "You just lied better than the rest of us." That's when he said something I'll never forget. "I made this world. I deserve it. You're just a grocery store loser pretending to matter." Click. That night I couldn't sleep again. Not because I was hurt. Because I was ready. Fully ready. He'd thrown gasoline. I had the match. And I hadn't even used the recordings yet. After that call, I knew it was time to end this. The thing about Nate, he never knew when to stop talking. Even when he lied, he couldn't help but brag. And I still had dozens of old voicemails and texts where he spelled it all out. Stuff he forgot he'd even said. About how he used loan money to float a few months, or paid cash under the table, or skimmed off the top until the truck took off. All in his own voice. All time-stamped. I'd been saving them. Not out of revenge at first. Just in case I ever needed proof that I wasn't crazy. That he really did say those things. That I hadn't imagined his promises. Now they were my final move. I compiled it all into one long email. Documents. Screenshots. Audio files. Sent it to 3 places. The Ohio State Attorney General's Small Business Fraud Division, the IRS whistleblower hotline, and every single one of his major investors. Including Charles. Then I turned off my phone. That was a Friday. By Monday morning, hell hit him like a freight train. Someone tipped off his staff. I don't know who. Maybe an investor. Maybe one of the baristas I talked to. Either way, word spread fast. I watched it unfold on social media. Someone posted, "What's going on at Bean Empire?" Then a screenshot of an email about payroll concerns. Then more. It exploded. By noon, #BeanScam was trending in Cincinnati. By 3 p.m., Nate's company Instagram page was deactivated. By 5 p.m., a reporter from a local news station left me a voicemail asking for an interview. I didn't reply, but I did drive down to his building. This time I didn't need to sneak past reception. No one stopped me. The whole floor was in chaos. People crying, yelling, packing boxes. Someone had brought a folding cart to load out monitors. I found Nate's office door wide open. He wasn't there, but his assistant was. A kid, couldn't be more than 24. He looked at me with wide, tired eyes. "He's not here," he said. I nodded. "I know." I didn't say anything else. Just looked around the office one last time. The walls were bare. The awards were gone. I walked out. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from a lawyer representing Nate. They were willing to settle privately and requested no further public commentary. The offer, $78,000 in full, paid in 30 days, with an additional $10,000 if I signed an NDA. I didn't care about the NDA. I didn't want fame. I didn't want interviews. I just wanted it to be over. I took the deal. 31 days later, the money hit my account. I paid off the garnishment, cleared my debts, paid Dale back every cent I owed him, bought a reliable used car and moved out of the basement. I didn't celebrate, because here's the truth, I wasn't innocent in all this. I was desperate. I was naive. I let love for family blind me. And when I snapped hard. I burned him down. Publicly. Completely. And yeah, he deserved it. But part of me still grieves the kid I used to protect. The brother I used to believe in. Last I heard, he moved to Florida. No penthouse, no Tesla. Just some shared office space near Fort Lauderdale, starting a new project. I didn't follow up. I don't hate him. I don't love him either. I just don't think about him much anymore. But sometimes when I sit down with a cup of gas station coffee and it tastes just right, I smile to myself. Because I finally did grow up. Just not the way he meant.